There's a crisis in the White House.
What's the crisis?
And the president's top advisors have been called together.
Oh, jeez.
The sexual misconduct occurred inside the Oval Office. With the election only days away, how much will this scandal affect the outcome?
The president spent the weekend pressing the flash. He wasn't campaigning, he was dating, actually.
Now, Washington's top spin doctor
We can distract the press for 11 days till the election. I think we got a chance.
has an idea,
We can't afford a war.
We're gonna have the appearance of a war.
but he can't pull it off without Hollywood's top producer.
Do I know you?
We have some mutual friends in Washington.
Why come to me?
We want you to produce.
You want me to produce your war?
Not a war, it's a pageant. We need a theme, a song, some visuals. We need, it's a pageant.
New Line Cinema presents
How close are you to this?
What do you want the kid to say?
all the spectacle,
I know we're all concerned for the president.
I know we're all concerned for the president.
I know that we are all concerned for the president.
He didn't sell the line.
all the drama,
The president's gonna go to war with Albania in about 30 minutes.
Albania's hard to run.
These are chips.
We need it for the arm position on the strain. It'll be a kitten. We'll punch it in later, right?
and all the effects of real war
Okay, put the village behind her.
Give me some sound of screaming.
without the casualties.
America has seldom witnessed a more poignant picture of...
They used the same process with the last Schwarzenegger movie.
You're the man.
Albania, Albania.
That rhymes.
I can't believe it. We forgot a hero. It was like we sent him the Christmas card and we left out the what do you call it? Fruitcake. There you go.
Sergeant Schumann, if I may, welcome to history.
How are you?
Anybody want a beer? Because I could party.
When it's cooking, it's cooking.
From Academy Award-winning director Barry Levinson
When this goes national, I get to put it on my resume.
Actually, no.
What could they do to me?
Take him home to your house and kill you.
Academy Award winner Dustin Hoffman,
This is politics at its finest.
Academy Award winner Robert De Niro,
How would you like an ambassadorship?
That's my payoff. Hell, I just do it for a story to tell.
Oh, no, you couldn't tell anybody.
Listen, I'm just kidding.
No, I mean, you couldn't tell
No, it's just it's a pageant.
It's a pageant. That's what it is.
Wag the Dog,
When the fit hits the shan, somebody's gonna have to stay after school.
Hey, True Seekers, welcome back. Zach here. We just watched the trailer to Wag the Dog, the Hollywood film that released in the United States January 9th, 1998. That film was major predictive programming for the news stories the year ahead. In 1998, the big news stories were the Kosovo War, involving the United States and NATO. In Wag the Dog, it's Albania. Albania was involved in the Kosovo War. Also in 1998, the most remembered story, the impeachment of Bill Clinton for lying about having a sexual relationship with Monica Lewinsky. In this film, Wag the Dog, it's about a sitting president 2 weeks before re-election being busted in the news for having sex in the White House with an underage female. In the film, they call her a Firefly Girl, which is supposed to be the equivalent of the Girl Scouts. You know, the young girls who sell Girl Scout cookies. So look, this film was predictive programming for 1998 news stories, but was also an expose on what's really been going on in this nation from the beginning of its existence up to the present. And that is the creation of false news by Zionist Jews to steer and distract the masses. If you have not seen this film, it's mostly centered on two main characters. Robert De Niro, who plays a spin doctor, an expert at creating fake news to distract the masses. And the other main character is Dustin Hoffman, a Hollywood movie producer, said to be the biggest producer in Hollywood. Here's what happens. The presidential administration that is up for re-election, that is fearing losing because of the news story, they say, oh my goodness, we need help. How do we get out of this situation? And they hire Robert De Niro, the spin doctor. And he comes in and says, no problem, people. We're just going to create a bigger news story to make people forget about this sex story. And they say, well, how are you going to do that? And he goes, easy. We're going to create a war. And they're like, what? A war? He goes, don't worry, not a real war, just a war on the TV. And then he reminds the people. He says, in the past, I created the Gulf War. He tells you in the movie that there never was an Iraq Gulf War. It was just all made up. He starts to share about his resume. He says he helped fake the Kennedy assassination and names off some other events from history. So the movie is cluing you in to what's really been going on in this nation. Fake wars, fake news stories, all to steer the populace. And the majority of people who watched this movie, they said, oh, this is just a comedy. They're just making jokes about history's past. But not realizing that the joke is truly on them. So anyhow, Robert De Niro, the spin doctor, the reason he has to go out and get Dustin Hoffman is because Dustin Hoffman is the best producer, the best storyteller in the world when it comes to putting things on the screen. And he knows for creating this fictional war, he needs the assistance of Hollywood. So let's just go through this piece by piece. I want to show you how interesting this is and how this movie backs up what I have been exposing for 3 years. That the Zionists who control this nation, who control the media, who control Hollywood, who control government, how they create fake news and they code it by the numbers, always signing off with their favorite signature number, 33. Here's the way this movie begins. At the 30th second of the film, the question pops up on the screen alone. Why does a dog wag its tail? And then 3 seconds later, exactly at the 33-second mark, the question comes up. Because a dog is smarter than its tail. You can cross out that sentence. What that sentence is really saying is a Jew is smarter than a goy. To understand why the Jewish Zionists rule over us the way they do, you have to know what's in the Talmud. In the Talmud, it explains that Jewish people are better than goys. Goys are people who are not Jewish. A goy is said to be a lesser. The purpose of a goy in the Talmud is to be a slave so that Jewish people can enjoy life. It explains. A goy, they are meant to work and generate wealth and revenue so that the Jewish people cannot work and live off of that. And if you look at what goes on in this nation, if you look at what goes on in this world, all throughout this world there are Jewish people who've never had to work a day in their life because they're born into wealth. They have investments, and those investments keep them afloat. Investments they never have to pay taxes on, while the hardworking goy, slave away and pay the taxes that keep these people afloat. So the Jewish people, they think the goy are dumb. They think they're meant to be slaves. If you read what it says about the goy, they're gullible. They're not very intelligent. They're easy to fool. They're easy to please. You can just give them a little scrap and they'll be satisfied. The New World Order, the Illuminati, it is a Jewish world order, a Zionist world order, a Freemasonic world order, a Jesuit world order. Let me show you how they coded the number 33 all over this film. And let me remind you, the Zionist nation of Israel, the false Jewish state. In the holy book, the Torah, the acceptable Jewish holy book, it says the Jewish people are not to have their own state. It's forbidden by God. That's why the Zionist state of Israel is the false Jewish state, the product of the ongoing Zionist agenda of the world wars and more. In the Talmud, it says that 6 million Jews need to die to reclaim the state of Israel. That's why there's the Holocaust lie about 6 million Jews dying in World War II, which is something that never happened. It is 100% false. It is a complete fiction. Holocaust in gematria sums to 33, and not by coincidence. But anyhow, getting back to this film, Wag the Dog. Actually, one more point about the Zionist nation of Israel. It was established November 29th, 1947. That's the 333rd day of the year, with a 33-member vote by the United Nations. The United Nations is a Jewish front. Look at the United Nations symbol, the flat earth map broken up into 33 parts. There's a reason they broke it up into 33. Just like why the United Nations is 39 floors tall in New York, 39 books in the Old Testament. Anyhow, Wag the Dog, hour and 37 minutes. Kind of like 137. 137 is the 33rd prime number, bringing us back to 33. This film's all about 33, which we're getting to. It's set in Washington, D.C. Washington, D.C., 137. In Washington, D.C., there's one Confederate soldier statue. That's of Albert Pike, the Freemason, who wrote Morals and Dogma, the Freemason Bible, Morals and Dogma, 137. D.C. on the American Meridian, 137. By the way, Washington, D.C.'s coordinates are the 38th parallel, the 77th meridian. Jew equals 38. Judaism equals 77. A nation established by Jewish bankers, always run by Jewish bankers. A movie, Wag the Dog, showing you how Jews are running the entire show. The word authority also sums to 137. And just remember, for those of you waking up, these Jewish people, they are shriveled men. They're little tiny pathetic cowards. They hide behind their technology, their screens, their legal systems they've built. The day we, the Goy, wake up, remember what we are. We truly are a superior race. We're bigger, we're stronger. We just allow ourselves to be ruled over by these tyrants. You know? We need to show them what the Goy really are. There needs to be a real Holocaust of these cocksucking pieces of shit. You know? They've been ruling the world with lies, deception, hatred for way too long. The day we get rid of this piece of shit race, which the Zionists are, the day the world's going to be a lot better. Washington, D.C., 137 land, hour and 37-minute movie. 137, the 33rd prime. D.C., the federal government headquarters. Federal 33, Order 33, Masonry 33, Secrecy 33. Notice the word believe, which has a lie right in the middle, 33. And in the film, the Jewish guys are, having so many jokes about how people just believe everything they see on the TV. That's why you can put a fake war on the TV and it'll dupe all the masses. Whatever comes through the TV is what they believe. So notice this. The film Wag the Dog, using the alphabetic order, sums to 90. 90 is one of two numbers when you write out that sum to 33. This film took place during the time Bill Clinton was in office. The film foreshadowed the year ahead. Clinton 33. Notice Wag the Dog the small way sums to 45, just like Firefly. The movie begins with the scandal with the Firefly girl. Here we are, the beginning of the 45th president. And what did I document 33 days before the election of the 45th president? 33 days before the election was the story of Donald Trump on the bus with Billy Bush, talking about how he can do whatever he wants to women because he's a celebrity. He can grab their pussies. He can just do whatever he wants with them. His own words. And it's not any coincidence they installed the Orange Oompa Loompa as the president. Our elections are rigged. They're a farce. They're controlled by this Jewish puppet show. Donald Trump said nobody loves Zionist Israel more than him. They know that this is a sick, perverse man, and they know that by putting him in, it's going to make a lot of people very upset. It's all by design. This is how the Jewish people rule over the Goy. They think the Goy are lessers. They think they're stupid. They can do whatever they want to them. That's why you get the Orange Oompa Loompa as your president. But think about this. Wag the Dog's 45. It has a lot to do with the sex scandal. It has 33 coded all over it. They created this big Donald Trump sex scandal 33 days before the election of the 45th president. And think about who Donald Trump ran against. Hillary Clinton, who was married to Bill Clinton, who was out when this movie came out. I guarantee you when they created this movie, they knew that Donald Trump would be the 45th president, and his whole pussy grabber thing coming 33 days before the election is part of the ongoing joke by the numbers. Donald Trump was born and bred to be the president from a young age. Go back and see all the predictive programming I exposed over the years for the Donald Trump presidency. Goes back well before this movie. So a couple more interesting things. United States in gematria sums to 40, just like Kosovo War. The Kosovo War involved Albania, which also equals 40. This movie's about creating a fictional war with Albania to steer the Goy from seeing the sex scandal. Here in the film, there's a scene where De Niro's character asks what time it is, and the person responds back 3:03. And at this point in the movie, he already knows that they're going to have a fictional war with Albania, and they're just trying to dream up the details of how they're going to present this to the masses, this fake war through the news. So right after the person says 3:03, he dreams up this idea of having a 303rd Detachment, this military group to tell a story about in Albania. He's just making it up as he goes. 303, a lot like 33. Just details they think about. How about a 303 patch? Next thing they know, they show the supposed president of the United States reading about this 303rd Detachment, this war in Albania, just reminding you that the president's just a puppet of the Jewish Zionists who really run the puppet show, the puppeteers. As he's reading this news, they show this couple just in bed somewhere in North America. They bring up this detail about an old shoe. They have to create more and more of a story as this goes on, this fictional war. So they create this fictional war hero named Old Shoe. And look at the gematria of Old Shoe, True Seeker. 33. If you do the S exception, it also sums to 42, like the word war, like the world war, like Zionism equals 42, like Freemason equals 42. But anyway, Old Shoe 33. Here's Dustin Hoffman, who's supposed to be the biggest movie producer in Hollywood. Dustin Hoffman in real life Jewish. Robert De Niro in real life Jewish. Almost everyone in Hollywood is Jewish. Isn't it amazing how nobody can see through this? It's just fucking Jewish people everywhere when you turn on the TV, a Hollywood movie. And we're supposed to have all these sympathy for these people. The same people telling us about this fake Holocaust, Holocaust 33. Come on, people. Aren't you tired of looking at shriveled little Jewish people? Aren't you sick of it? Let's put these fucking people in the ground where they belong. And they do belong there. Any of you who think otherwise are fucking morons. You're sellouts to your own race. You're sellouts to this world. You get rid of this Jewish fucking filth. We have a real Holocaust. The world's going to be a lot better tomorrow. But anyway, here they are in the car joking about their fake narrative. Making jokes about all that they've come up with. Dustin Hoffman's character says, you know what we should do next? We should give the president a Nobel Peace Prize over stopping this fake war. And then Robert De Niro, who works for the White House, says, why? Just for the symmetry of it? What have I been showing you? These fake Jews, they just keep creating fake news, tributes to their past fake news stories. This is what it all is. It's mathematics, it's geometry, it's symmetry. It's being assholes by the numbers. So then they even start talking about Kissinger. If Kissinger can win a peace prize, if you don't know who Henry Kissinger is, he's the piece of shit Jew, the real most evil man of the history of the world. The man that sits next to every single president and tells them which brown people to go bomb next. Henry Kissinger, one of many Jewish pieces of shit in this world. Here is Henry Kissinger, a man who probably has the blood of millions of people on his hand. Who knows, maybe even 1 billion. It's one of the sickest men there ever was. The next time somebody tells you Hitler's the most evil man in the world, understand that's a Jewish lie. The real truth is the most evil man in the world is a Jew, Henry Kissinger. Here he is, currently 93, that special number. See if Henry makes it past 93. His full name, Henry Alfred Kissinger, gematria of 110, just like the word president. 227, favorite number of the gang, number having to do with pi. Cycles, circles, when you divide 22 by 7, you get the number 4 pi. Just real quick, Henry Kissinger's birthday, born on a date with 74 numerology, Jewish 74, Masonic 74, killing 74, 9/11, which he no doubt helped plan on the 74th meridian. Big Jewish Israel tribute 9/11 was. All part of the ongoing Jew World Order, New World Order, by the numbers. An event planned 33 years in the making, 1968, 33 years before 2001. The year 911 was made the national emergency dialing code. The year World Trade Center construction began. The year George W. Bush graduated from Yale in Skull and Bones. So anyway, while Hoffman and De Niro are in this limo making jokes about their line that they've created, on the radio comes this song. And they show the radio and it's 92.9. Here's another major tribute to the Jews and the Jewish nation they created, New Jerusalem, the United States of America. In the Old Testament, which the Jewish faith goes by, remember 39 books in the Old Testament, 929 chapters. The United Nations in New York, Jew York, is 39 floors tall. New York equals 39. Everything about New York. Jewish Zionist Mecca is 39. Anyway, United States of America and Jewish gematria equals 929. And here on the radio, what's playing as they're listening is this song that they just created the other day for this fake narrative that they had inserted in the National Archives as a song from the 1930s. Let me show you this. This is what they do in the film. This song's playing on the radio. They start laughing about it. Before they play it, the man brings up how it's a 1930s recording, part of a folk song classic, which is not true at all. It had just been recorded the other day. Oh, I thought I put a screenshot up of here. Maybe not. So here's what happens. You know, Dustin Hoffman's character says, we need music. We need music to sell this narrative. And he starts thinking up of a song that would go with this whole 303 detachment. And just out of nowhere, he gets this idea. He goes, I'm seeing a black shoe. I'm envisioning a black shoe, like military boots. He goes, we need a song about an old shoe. And we need a hero that has shoe in the name. Schumacher. Schumann. He goes, that's it, Schumann. He goes, start looking through your military records. Let's find an old Schumann. Is there a Schumann out there? We need a song about an old shoe and a Schumann. You know, he's just making it up as he goes. This 303rd Detachment, now he needs a war hero named Schumann. And we just talked about how old shoe's 33. So this song's playing on the radio about the old shoe. They used their De Niro, who has the, Washington, D.C. clearance security for everything. He inserts this song that was just made it in the National Archives from the 1930s. They're playing it on the radio. They're telling people about this fake war. They're having a good laugh about it. They start drawing up some artwork. They're thinking about creating a memorial for the Albania War, which never happened. This is the vision for it. 303. Hands on the clock. Dennis Leary's in this movie. Another major asshole who helps sell the propaganda. Another Jewish piece of shit. Everyone in Hollywood's related to Jews. Every last one of them. He comes up with the idea for a fast food chain. We get the shoe burger with the cheese and 303 sauce. I mean, this is just how it works in your world. They create movies. Next thing you know, everyone's pumping it. The lies, the propaganda. Think about 9/11. Think about after 9/11. This big Jewish spectacle created by them. And then everyone having their own 9/11 tributes, how to be patriotic, what to spend your money on. This movie just years before 9/11. So here they are telling the story of old shoe. He's part of the 303rd Detachment. The story is that he got left behind. And the reason he got left behind, that's something I forgot to tell you. In this movie, they try to make it look like the CIA is legitimate. That's how they always do it with Hollywood. They always tell you one lie. In this movie, they make it seem like the CIA is legitimate. The CIA figures out that there's no war in Albania, so they just put out a news story that the war in Albania is over. And it ends just after days before the re-election. And the whole point of creating this fake news story was to keep it going through the entire election so that the president could be re-elected and people wouldn't remember the sex scandal. So after the CIA busts the war, they don't say that it's fake, they just say the war's over. Well, then that's where the narrative comes about Schumann and him being left behind. If you watch the movie, you just see how they contrive it piece by piece to keep the story going. So anyway, just all throughout the movie, they just keep putting 303 up, talking about secrecy with the 303rd Detachment. The word secrecy itself sums to 33, just like masonry, like we showed at the beginning. At the end, they have a fake funeral. What do we know about fake funerals? Something that they do all the time. And they have a dog come run in. That one of the key details is in this fake funeral that Dustin Hoffman dreams up is having a dog come up and sniff, with the tail wagging. This happens at the end of the movie, going with the title of the film, Wag the Dog. Dustin Hoffman just thinks up all these little details that he knows will appeal to Goy. Having a dog in there, he just knows how a dog can just make the Goy go, oh. You see? I mean, that's why the Jewish people, honestly, I got to give it to the Jewish people. I do think that they might be right. They might be a lot smarter than the Goy, because what I've known since the time I was 18, actually even way before that, But what I've known since September 11th is you have to be fucking retarded to not see what's going on in this nation. If you couldn't see through the lies of 9/11, you were fucking retarded then. And if you still can't see, you're really fucking retarded. But, I mean, that's just what it is. It's a nation of fucking retards that can't see through the obvious bullshit that these Jews just put on them every single fucking day. And that's why they call you goy. They think you're dumb and they're right. So here's this little stupid detail. The dog running in there with his tail wagging. He just knows that's going to touch the hearts of the goy. And I'm sure if it was real, it would. It'd probably be the #1 story with all the goy on Facebook. Oh, did you see the dog? Right here, I love this part. Here's Dustin Hoffman's character. What he says right before, and it looks 100% real, is he goes, "It's a fucking fraud, and it looks 100% real." And he's having a meltdown here because what he wants is recognition after this is over for how he duped the American populace. He wants everybody to know that he made up this fake war and the entire story to go with it. And De Niro, who works for the government, says, "No, man, you can't do that. You can't tell them that it was fake. You can't get the recognition. This isn't about you." And this guy, who's the man, he's the biggest man. He's the biggest man in Hollywood. What happens is, he walks out of the room thinking, you know what? I'm bigger than this White House. I'm going to get it out there. People are going to know the truth. Well, as he walks out of the room, De Niro signals the CIA that they need to take care of him. Well, if he's going to be that way, he needs to be dead. So here's what happens at the end of the film. At the end of the film, it ends showing the mansion of Dustin Hoffman's character. By the way, when they pull up to his house, there's a woman who works for the White House and she's in the car. It's early in the film. When they pull up in front of this house, she goes, "Oh my God, this is way bigger than the White House." And then moments later, they're in their house. You're meeting Dustin Hoffman's character for the first time. And they want to give the phone to Dustin Hoffman so that he can talk to the president. And Dustin Hoffman says, "Keep him on hold. I'm telling a story." Reminding you that these Jewish people who run Hollywood know that the president's not shit. They don't give a fuck about the president. Who cares if the president's on the phone for me? I'm telling a story right now. I'm the Jewish boss. I don't worry about what the little puppet needs. Plus, you're here for me to help him anyway. So, you get that whole introduction right now. Jewish people in Hollywood, they don't give a fuck about the president. But here's how it ends. In the end, he gets killed. Turning to the Hollywood page, famed film producer Stanley R. Motz. And let's think about Stanley Kubrick. They say Stanley Kubrick directed a lot of government propaganda. And I think using the name Stanley is a tribute to that. The name Stanley also sums to 33. The name Stanley R. Motz equals 47 like president. But anyway, Stanley R. Motz, it's reported that he has died suddenly from a heart attack. How many times have I decoded these suspicious deaths where the person died suddenly from a heart attack? Almost makes me wonder how many of them are in Hollywood that helped participate in government propaganda and they said that they were going to spill the beans someday. So next thing you know, they're dead from a heart attack. But anyway, this whole movie is just exactly what we see every day in reality. Fake news, people dropping dead by the numbers, suspiciously. This movie tells you the whole story. Then they say Mr. Motz was 57 or 62. How many times have you seen me do a decode where I show how these celebrities have multiple ages and birthdays reported? Why is that? It's because these people are all fake identities. You can't even know who they really are. But notice these years they report. 57 or 62. Add those numbers together. 119, 119, All-Seeing Eye 119, Star of David, Master Plan, Foundation. All numbers with 119 gematria. Think about September 11th, 11/9. Scottish Rite 57, Mason 62, Scottish Rite Freemasonry. So anyway, Truth Seeker, Wag the Dog, check this movie out. It's well done. It's actually very funny. It's funny in a sad way. Last night I cried so much I could have filled up a bucket with tears because I was just laughing so hard through the whole movie. And I was laughing because it's just like, oh my God, since 1998 this movie's been out here explaining how the whole show's done. And anyone who watched this movie in 98 must have been so weirded out, Kosovo War, Impeachment of Bill Clinton over sex, movie at the beginning of the year that pretty much foretold both of these things. Down below, I'll link all of this plus the Gematrinator calculator if you want to practice your gematria study. When you come to this calculator, the methods to know are the reduced and the ordinal. They're both based on the alphabetic order. You can uncheck boxes over here. Just work with those two methods. These two methods will reveal the most. The more you know, the better, but these two methods are where the bread and butter is. They're both completely based on the alphabetic order. Ordinal is using the alphabetic order. A is 1, B is 2, C is 3. Reduced is using the alphabetic order, but making each letter a single digit. For example, F is 6, the 6th letter, E is 5, D is 4, E is 5, R's the 18th letter, 1 plus 8 becomes 9. A's 1, L's 12, 1 plus 2 is 3. That's the difference between these methods. You see? So I'll link below. Thanks as always for listening, Truth Seeker. Until next time.